Had a quick
Yeah.
question here from a chat.
Okay.
What's the difference between the NRA from the CCFR and vice versa? So are you like the similar as the NRA, or are you guys completely different? Like if we're comparing apples to apples here, is it similar?
Well, the NRA, I mean, there's multiple groups in the States too. The NRA is probably the most notorious and the largest by very slim margin. But Gun Owners of America, the GOA, is almost as big, not nearly as notorious or controversial. Probably has a lot cleaner books as well. But I
Okay.
mean, it's a different situation because in the States, they have a Second Amendment. They have a
Mhm.
legitimate, recognized right to own firearms, whereas in Canada, we don't. So that's incredibly, uh, it's a difficult comparison. We get called the NRA North or the NRA of Canada. We get called that all the time, by mostly by liberals and liberal leaning media or anti-gun
Okay.
groups. The NRA, right in their constitution, it prohibits them from working in Canada. Um, they're beholden to their American
Mhm.
members, and Canadians can become members of the NRA if they want. I think you get a magazine or something, but it does absolutely nothing
Right. They
to
don't lobby up here or anything.
no, like it won't actually help you in your situation with your guns or with our political situation in the least at all, zero. Um, so the CCFR is Canada's largest firearm lobby organization, but we also have a whole avenue of advocacy through education. You know,
Great.
for me, there's different avenues. There's lobbying and the political stuff and trying to, influence elections and voters and whatever. But there's also just the public opinion. And the only reason why the liberals get away with some of the crazy gun stuff they've done to us, the punitive stuff, is because for the most part, we've had this public relations nightmare for 30 years as gun owners where you were taught to sort of lay low and keep quiet. Don't put gun stickers on your vehicles or wear gun shirts, don't advertise that you're a gun owner, lay low and keep your head down, and maybe they won't come after you. Well, that got us exactly where we are now, and that's a
Correct.
problem because the majority of Canadians didn't even know that we owned handguns and AR-15s. They didn't even know that. So, of course, with the Hollywood and the American news and everything else, of course, they don't even want us to have that stuff. So we've got a public relations problem, and that's sort of the goal of the CCFR is to change that. I mean, every gun owner knows the very best way to influence someone's opinions about guns and gun ownership is to take them to the range. You can fight on Twitter all
Mhm.
day. You're not going to get anywhere, but take a group of new people out to the range and let them shoot and try it and see the safety and the protocols and the way that we do things, and you can influence their opinions, and they recognize there's a legitimate stark difference between the legal a lawful use of firearms for sporting and hunting purposes and the illegitimate use of illicit guns for crime. So yeah, that's
And that's
it's a long game. It's not going to happen overnight. But we've got multiple projects on the go that sort of speak to that. But yeah, we're not gonna really move forward on the gun stuff until we change the public's perception of gun owners.
That's a good point that we have to also get behind you and support you as well. And we have to
Yeah,
be less of a society that's scared about other people having guns. We got to be accustomed to it more. And what I like
right.
about your idea of sending them to the gun range is one of the first things that I noticed when I went to my first one was how professional and serious everybody was taking it. They were being very safe and very strict and making sure that you understood. So one of the first
Yeah.
things people will understand if they go to a range is it's not quote unquote gun nuts or anything like that, and people
No.
doing things like that. They take it very seriously because it is a very serious thing. So if you haven't been to a gun range, go to it, and you're going to learn quickly that this is a professional organization and people treat this with utmost respect because it is a very serious item. And I think people should do more of that.